is setting us thinking. So the next speaker that's coming up is none other than Mr. Captain Vinod Nair. He's coming all the way from Canada, and Dania will have the privilege of introducing him.
Thank you, ma'am. A true privilege indeed. I would like to welcome Captain Vinod Nair, an ex-army official, excellent orator. Captain Vinod is a highly decorated ex-army officer who has served in active battlefields along the line of control and tasted live action on the battlefield. He launched his journey into the world of professionals as an officer in the Indian Army in 1990. He actively participated in live operation and high-risk missions along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. A multifaceted personality, Captain Vinod Nair has forayed into writing biographies. Sir has an experience of coaching hundreds of people and has a very close relationship with Podar and is connecting specially for this forum from Canada. A very special and warm welcome to you, sir.
Namaste everyone. Happy Mahatma Gandhi Jayanti to everybody here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Let me start with just addressing everyone, respected Mr. Podar, Dr. Komi, Dr. Mendi, all principals who are attending, all the alumni, all resource staff, fellow speakers, very, very impressive speakers. I've been hearing them. And a special thanks to Mrs. Avnita Bhir and to Norina Fernandez, principal of Mira Road, Podar. When I was invited to this session, I just said yes, purely because Norina invited me. I've had some fabulous staff and teachers train me when I was growing up. I've studied from Stanislaus, and I have no complaints, nothing to say bad about them. But if Norina was one of my principals, I'm sure I wouldn't probably get hurt by that. So I'm happy to be here. So first, let me start by congratulating everybody here on your vocation. You groom and launch the next generations. You actually are the people who mold filters. I mean, you are more like a thermostat than a thermometer. You actually, regulate temperature rather than just read it. You're more of a water filter than a water tap. You actually decide what comes out and you lead the way. You guys are actually the beacons for us and for our next generation. So we depend on you as much as the kids depend on you. And like army officers have to lead from the front in battle, you principals and faculty have to lead by example, always be way ahead of every one of your students, and your students keep getting smarter and brighter every single year. So I don't know how you do it. You have one of the toughest jobs in the world, and I congratulate you, and you have my respect. So what am I doing here, and what do I have to share with you? I have a few thoughts on this. So let me start by introducing myself. My name is Vinod Nair. I was born and raised in Mumbai. I studied in Stanislaus School. So while I was studying, I was quite poor in studies. Average or way below average. Always managed to score just below 40 if I did really well, but always just cleared all my subjects and never lost a year. I had really kind teachers, or maybe they just didn't want to tolerate me. After that, I went off and joined the Indian Army, where, as you already know, I saw some action, did some stuff. Then I came out and I started my own strategy consulting firm. We do strategies, which are market strategies, and we do financial strategies. So I'm a person who's got the stock market literally ticking on all my screens, my phones all the time. I'm always monitoring stuff, which is a very high pressure job. And, investments are not simple, especially in a market like this. Stress management, whether it's been from the army days or these days, are part of my life. I have always come across to my friends and family as a slightly strange person. I have a strange side to me. I'm slightly weird. I have anxiety. I have overwhelming, crippling anxiety. Sometimes I get overwhelmed and flip out. I have rage issues. I have lots of issues. For years, I was just branded as an eccentric genius, somebody whose crap you had to take because he would make you rich and famous. And that worked well for me till I really started thinking there was something I needed to look at. And when I got myself properly looked at, it's funny that at the age of 51, I found out that I am autistic, something I did not know earlier at all. So now when I look back and I think of times when my father told me, don't be depressed, be happy, or don't be sad, stop frowning. That was nice, but it doesn't really just work like that. That's simply. There's a lot more that goes in. In the last 3 to 4 days, you have learned a lot of tools. You've been exposed to definitions, meanings, resources, tools, how to cope with the kind of situation you are in. It's so tough. Some of these tools that you have learned, some of the things you have picked up, you may find practical, fantastic, useful. Some of them you may find too theoretical, impractical, irrelevant, not applicable. I'm not going to go over those because you are masters and you have learned from super masters. So I'm not even going to step into that league. What I am going to go through is my own insights based on my life for what could really help. So here's something I want to discuss with you, which I think is a major source, trigger, and solution for dealing with stress, depression, anxiety, and all of these. You've learned yoga, you've learned many other tools, you've learned a lot of good things. But let's go a little further, okay? Let's go into this word called parasites. Are you aware that 48% of your external body, everything that you're seeing here, your external body, 48% is made of living organisms that are not you. They live on you, parasites. Now, this entire coating that we have is called a microbiome. A microbiome is a collection of bacteria and living organisms that live on us. They kind of grow so close to us that they are a part of us. They're referred to as the microbiome. We have two microbiomes, one which is outside that covers 48% of your physical body, which is also works as our immunity. It protects us from a lot of things. In olden times, when someone came to your home, you shook hands like this, or you touched cheeks with each other. That really helped because if a person was coming from outside, they meet their host who is the local and they touch cheeks or they hold hands like that, their microbiomes touch each other and the host transfers immunity onto the guest, the person who's from outside. Like this, we have another microbiome, which is called the gut microbiome. And this has blown my mind. It still blows my mind. Okay. The human body has 37.2 trillion cells inside it. We also have a gut microbiome that starts from your mouth and ends at your anus, but essentially it is your inside, your stomach. Believe it or not, the gut microbiome alone has over 100 trillion cells. That's more than the entire human body put together. The gut microbiome is also referred to as the secondary human brain. Very, very important to understand and extremely useful to know how to manage yourself and others. So things like cancer, autism, weight gain, cravings for milk, sugar, and other food, your immunity, your behavior, dyslexia, digestion, moods, all of this can hugely be influenced by your gut microbiome. So what I'd like you to do is after this session on your own time, get on Google, get on YouTube, get on anything, start studying the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is what decides your personality to a large extent. There are acid levels and there are alkaline levels in the body. We should not ignore this. Based on what you eat, the kind of food you eat, your body can turn acidic or alkaline. The more alkaline it is, the better for you. That doesn't mean acid is bad. We do need acids to just stay balanced. They're very, very important. But when they become too much, that's when trouble starts. So a lot of the issues that we face, whether it's stress, tension, blowing up, anxiety, depression, many of these are hugely, hugely influenced by your gut. So start looking at what you eat. If you want a standard table as to what works, what doesn't work, there is no standard table. There are some general rules which I'll run you through, but you have to figure out what your body needs and you have to give your body exactly what it needs. Let me give you an example. For years, people have been saying that milk is not digestible to an adult human, but still we have a lot of milk. Why? I'm told that it's also because your gut microbiome is demanding it. So you can't help the cravings, you have to have it. Similarly for sugar and for many other things. So now when you put a food into your stomach, when it goes in, the reaction it creates could be alkaline or acidic. While acid is essential for the body, many of us have too much of it. So I'm not going to tell you how to up your acid levels. That's very, very easy. Let's talk about how to down them. Try and choose foods that are better for you in terms of alkalizing rather than for just the taste or the happiness of the food. Some well-known acidic foods are chocolate, tomatoes, tamarind, vinegar, alcohol, especially red wine, and the list goes on. But let's look at what's good for you. What causes an alkaline reaction? Fruits, nuts, vegetables, Himalayan salt, potatoes, oatmeal, yogurt, and other similar things. Watermelon and Himalayan sea salt are the most alkaline foods in the world. How now, you know, it's really tough, really tough for you to be managing your life, your routine, and suddenly start looking into what kind of foods you're going to eat and what each vegetable causes for you. Simple solution: switch to a Vedic diet. If you follow certain Vedic principles, certain Vedic inputs, like ghee is highly recommended, the desi ghee, and that too only from cows. Fruits, nuts, vegetables. Don't keep food for a long time. Once it's prepared, try and eat it as soon as you can. Sooner the better. Try and eat before 6 or 6:30 in the evening, or latest 7. Don't go beyond that. You already know about yoga, meditation, so I'm not going to be touching on that at all. But remember, your gut microbiome is where a large part of your personality is formed. Many people who I have worked with, and I've worked with about 600,000 people so far as a coach. Many people I've worked with try their best to suppress their bodies, suppress what messages they're getting from within. Such as, if you want to go to the washroom, you normally just tell yourself to shut up and wait. If you're feeling hungry, you just say, wait, right? So instead of suppressing your body, try and work in harmony with your body. Try and create schedules, solutions, quick fixes that will keep your body respected, because charity begins at home. Before you start taking care of your students or anyone else, take care of yourself, because if you are not good, it's going to be tough for you to bring your students to their best. Be kind to yourself. Use all the tools you've been learning. Seek opportunities and problems, because that's something I find helps me a lot. When coronavirus hit, one of the roundtables I was holding, I kept insisting that, you know, while people were talking about the end of the world, they still are. There's a lot of end of world talk going on nowadays. I like to look at opportunity. what does Corona offer you? How can you use this to move leaps and bounds ahead in your life? How can you start collaborating with yourself rather than silencing yourself or your stomach? Listen, cooperate, ask for help, ask for help. And I've come across many people who recommend being positive because it helps in such tough times. I won't say anything against it, but I would always say be intelligent before being positive. That would probably give you much, much more productive effects. And the last thing I'd like to say to everyone here is something I say to myself very often, something I've written in my book, Pride of Lions, and I quote everywhere is what I'll end with. In case you find that your health, your stress, your situation, your finances, your relationships, anything is going out of hand, out of control, things are going really, really tough, we are often trying to correct the situation or the people who we interact with. Try looking within. That's where I like to start with first. And tell yourself, always tell yourself, I will not let who I am stand in the way of who I want to be. So figure out who you want to be. Give yourself the resources, the tools. There's plenty of help. Information is not a problem in today's day and age, but what you do with the information is everything. So best of luck. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. And namaste to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod. And I must say, your concluding statement was very inspiring.
Thank
Uh,
you.
what you want to be, and let not anything come in between. But for
Yes.
whatever you spoke so far, uh, as being a microbiology student,
Oh.
started with biome and parasite, and sometimes I make very strong statement about parasites. I love them in a very different way, but I use it very commonly. Okay, and I don't like to be one. So thank you for the very inspiring talk that you gave us, and of course we'll catch up. And subsequent to your talk, I couldn't have a better person than